This is not easy, doing this life. Living this life in a van is not easy, and you really have to think about it before you get into it. If you ever do this life, don't do it like us. Do not follow us. Do not do anything like we do it. We did have some discussions, Stephen saying, look, do you want to give this up? I don't want to give it up. I really don't. We know it's not forever, but we definitely want to do this for a lot longer. But yeah, sometimes we just miss having, it's not just me, but I do miss having a base, and I miss some of those things that you took for granted before. So first job is replacing the screws on the kitchen cupboard because they're falling out.
But we need a slightly bigger screw.
Oh, okay. So basically our kitchen cupboard is falling off the wall, like everything. So that's first up. I hate these places. Never know what we're doing. So we need to decorate the van, and we've done nothing with it since we've had it. And these actually look really nice, to be honest. And it looks like they just stick on, so we could put them somewhere. So basically, as per usual, we looked at something, thought it was a good idea, put it back on the shelf and walked away again and said we'll do it in the future, and we never will.
We said we'll think about that, and then we won't.
Should we get a new kitchen for the van?
Yeah.
Kit it out with a whole room.
Yeah, this is the whole iPhone.
I really do miss a proper kitchen. Oh, I miss an oven. And a proper sink. I don't know about you, but I'm so bored of this already. Oh, there we go.
£9.50? No, get the £6 one.
Which is it we need? That's £9.50. So we need one of these.
What's this? That's heavy duty. We don't need heavy duty.
I don't know.
It should be alright.
Do you want it?
Yeah.
So basically we've got a leak coming into the van. So the van's leaking a little bit, and we've bought some Sikaflex, if that's how you say it, and it's kind of like a sealant for campervans and motorhomes. So we're going to do a little bit on the outside. We just need one of those gun things. I'm sure there's a name for it. Don't ask me. And hopefully seal up an area where we think the water's coming in. I'm sure we'll do a completely professional and accurate job. Why do we need wood filler?
Because the holes might be too big.
For the screws in the cupboard, the kitchen cupboard. We're on a hunt for something slightly bigger than that one, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Slightly lower.
Oh god, I'm bored already. So already we can't get even the basics right. We've just got one of those gun things, and our Sikaflex doesn't actually fit into it, even though it looks like it does, which makes me think it does, but we're just not doing it right. You sure it doesn't fit?
Yeah, it doesn't fit.
Okay, we're back in home base. Such fun.
Yeah.
Right, is this bigger or what? It doesn't look any different to me. Hang on a minute.
This was slightly longer.
Yeah, they look the same size, so maybe we're just not putting it in right. I don't get it. Right, next stop. Right, what are we doing now, Stevie?
We're going to Sainsbury's.
Going to Sainsbury's.
Exciting.
It is exciting. Okay, so we've been shopping, we've been to Sainsbury's, done what we needed. I don't know why we never learn. Ultimately, we knew it was going to be more expensive in there, but we didn't think it would matter for a few bits. But oh my god, some of the things are just insane. Olive oil, their cheapest olive oil was £5.10 for 500 mils, and that was like what was normally the budget one, and I'm sure not long ago that was £3.75, and there was about 3 other people that turned up at the same time and commented on the same thing, like, oh my god, look at the price of that olive oil. Unfortunately we use it a lot and we love it, so we kind of sucked it up and bought it. I understand why things like that are rising, I really do, and I think olive oil especially is going to get worse. We are going to go travelling this week, we're not sure where, and we're going to make it up as we go along. The idea, because it's October now, we are going to go mushrooming hopefully, so with any luck we're going to do a little bit of travelling, not too far, but somewhere where there's a forest or a wood that we can go foraging in basically. So we got our Bluetti back, which we will go into later with more detail, but it works, doesn't it? It seems to. So they've definitely repaired it. But there is more to say on that, as I know some people have been curious, so we will film something on that a bit later on. But yeah, seems pretty charged. And now we've got the fun and games of sorting all of this out, putting it away and cleaning the van. So while Stephen is cleaning the outside of the van, ready for us to put on that filler stuff, that's my technical term, I'm going to attempt to put the clothes away, which is always fun when you've got bags of different things, different clean washing, and it all kind of balances on here and you just hope it doesn't fall out. And at the bottom here, in this snazzy little Christmas box, is all our winter gear. So you've got hats, we've probably got too many hats in there, gloves, far too many gloves because we barely wear them. Above that, just odds and sods like jeans, thick tracksuit bottoms and tops. And on the top, carrier bags just go basically where we put bags of like trousers, t-shirts, shorts into different compartments, but it always gets mixed up. And there's another one up here which is mostly Stephen's stuff that kind of just gets rammed in, and you just hope for the best. I honestly don't know how we cope. We're so crap at this. Ever since day one, we've just been a bit shambolic. We don't know anything. We've learnt nothing. In 2 years, living in a van, on the road, I don't think we've learned a damn thing.
We've got to try and fix the electric.
As Stephen said, we've still got to try and fix some electrics. We'll go into that later. But despite not learning very much, and generally being all round useless at this game, we've still made it work. And what it has done, if we've gained anything, it's the total appreciation for things we had before and probably took for granted. I know there's the obvious stuff like a toilet that flushes and running water, all that kind of stuff. We do have a sink, but yet, you know, it's not the same. But also, what I was thinking recently, if we ever find ourselves in a position with a kitchen again, I'm going to bake and cook and do things every single day like I never did before, just because I'll be so happy to have something like that again and appreciate it. Yeah, not ready to give this up yet, but there are things that you do miss. And I think cooking nice meals is definitely one of them, because you kind of have to be a bit practical in a van. And I know some people have got ovens, we've not got that. Some people have got some quite fancy gear that helps them make some good things, and that's brilliant, but we just haven't, and we don't really have the room either. So yeah, it's not the same, and this will all probably never happen at all. But in my head, if we do ever get a kitchen again, I swear to God, I'm going to learn to bake and bake every single cake I can imagine. Every day, every time I've got time, every time I've got the chance. In the meantime, let's put our pants away, yeah? Right. I feel like we should just give up and have a drink. Let's just sack it all off. Forget the cleaning of the van, forget putting clothes away, forget anything. Let's just pour ourselves a drink and sit in whatever bit of sunshine is left today. That sounds more fun, don't you reckon?
Yeah.
We'll do that.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Well, we probably won't do that. We will do that, but let's try and do something first. We are due, if we're to be good boys, which we rarely are, a couple of days of sorting it from head to toe. Will that happen? I don't know. There's a drink with our name on it, so that may be the answer. We will see.
And that's just from the back.
It's just from the back. Can make a meal out of that.
Terrible. Terrible, Muriel.
So the state of our floor is absolutely shocking, and to be honest, we're trying carefully not actually get that in camera, but for the sake of bearing one's soul, look at the state of that. Absolutely foul. There's our kettle, which by the way needs changing. You're going to take this horrible mat out. God bless its soul, it's done quite well for us. Stephen's going to give it a bit of a brush.
I've had it about 2 years.
There's probably untold amounts of onion skin and garlic skin on that. Human dust, human skin.
Skin everywhere.
Lovely stuff, we love it. we don't really, but look at it, it's just awful. We should be ashamed of ourselves. Yeah, pretty grim. Let's stop filming, shall we? So this is where we think the leak's coming in. So all of this, hang on, let me zoom out. So all of this is where the awning would go. But there's a leak coming in just behind, and we can't really work it out, but we think, because some of these are quite rusty, it might be coming in around the edges. So we've wiped it over, and Stephen's now using the very technical and efficient
Toothbrush.
item of the toothbrush with some washing up liquid to get into the nooks and crannies. And then the idea is we're going to sort of put some sealant around it. See, this is our life now, just random things like standing here with a mug that we previously drunk tea and coffee out of with a toothbrush and washing up liquid, scrubbing the side of our home in the hope of doing some kind of makeshift Blue Peter job to stop a leak that we don't even know where it's really coming from. But at least every day's different, I guess. And when you do this, you realise every single thing you're looking at, how badly it needs a clean, how badly it needs a wash. So we do apologise for that. We don't, you know, we're not completely gross.
Who are we sorry to?
I don't know. I'm just apologising to our regular viewers. You know? So this is our little electric box. Came with a van, obviously very old fashioned, but it still works for our leisure battery, the 12 volt. But the lights have stopped working, and we've tried to change the fuse. We've managed that, but it didn't work. One works in the back, but the two here, that one just by the vent and the one right above you here, they've stopped working. And we've had some problems with this electric box before, so we've just opened it up to see if there's a loose connection. That is to say, we don't really know what we're doing, but we thought it was worth a look. Okay, we're putting it back and just ignoring it for now. This is the fun of living in a van. Things happen, you've got to figure it out or not figure it out, and then if it's beyond your reach, which most things are for us, we have to sort of go and seek help elsewhere. But we have tried to look into this, you know, we haven't just completely passed it by, and it does feel like we just don't know what we're doing. Maybe I'll just pour us a drink. Stephen said it's wise, so I've got backup. You heard it here. If you ever do this life, don't do it like us. Do not follow us, do not do anything like we do it. For a van that's pushing 30 years old, it's probably had that same system all that time. I think we ought to let the professionals have a look, because that ain't us. This was the stuff we bought to put some sealant on the outside, because somebody at work told me about this, and then Googling it, it seemed to be the main kind of campervan motorhome sealant. So Sikaflex 522. We ordered it off Amazon. It was about, I don't know, 12-13 quid. So hopefully it does the job. But that would be assuming we know what we're doing, which we absolutely don't. We're going to stay here a couple of nights, and we're going to finish what we need to do. But then we're going to go travelling, and we're not sure what we're going to do or where we're going to go, but we know we're not going to go far because we can't at the moment. You know, we've got things to do, but not just that. We kind of have to watch the pennies a bit at the moment. This has been a quite expensive month, and you know, this is not easy doing this life. Living this life in a van is not easy, and you really have to think about it before you get into it. Yes, it's a cheaper way of living, and overall that works out, but you will get months that pop up where the bills go through the roof, you get unexpected costs, and yeah, it's hard going at times. And you kind of, I don't want to say you have to have nerves of steel to do this, but you really do have to be willing to sacrifice a lot. So at the moment we've faced quite an expensive month. Now, it's not that bad compared to what some people go through. We've actually been pretty lucky. However, you've got money coming in, however you're paying for this, we work. Always make sure you're putting something aside for these breakdowns and things that can happen, because they will happen, you know, and you will get a shock sometimes. So you need to make sure you're looking after things on that front. We've been crap with money, haven't we, most of our lives, but since being in a van we've learned to manage it a bit better, because you have to. So yeah, it's not as simple as it seems, it's not as easy as it seems, but you know, we're still enjoying it, aren't we? We're still liking the life, we're still glad of what it gives us, and that's time back to ourselves basically. But my main point is, yeah, it can be tough. It can be really tough doing this, and it can be expensive, more expensive than you think sometimes. So yes, it's a cheaper way of living, but just be prepared that that's not always the case, and things can be much more unpredictable financially than when you're in a normal home, if you like. So because our lights don't work because of something with the electrics which we're not sure about, even though we had a look, we are now messing about with all the the little portable lights we've got, most of which don't have batteries. We've got tons of batteries, most of which are dead. This one here, that's all we're getting. We did manage to take some batteries out of the blood pressure machine that we've got and put it in this, which gives us a little bit of something. So we'll sacrifice health for light. There we go. And we've got, thankfully, this little pop-up one which does work. But generally, it's a bit of a disaster. We've got some other big lights, but we just haven't got the batteries for them. Oh, what is our life? This is our life, you know. And that's living in a van, I guess. Especially if you're us two and you don't know what the hell you're doing. And you let these things get out of control, and suddenly you've got all these problems. And never mind, eh? You're pros at this now, right? It's just ridiculous. Everything is so ridiculous sometimes doing this. And you wonder, what the hell are you doing? Like you're in a tiny little space, scrabbling around for a source of light. All these base things that you don't normally have to think about. And suddenly we're having to think about it. But it's all good. The light works at the back in the toilet area, but obviously that's not much use when you're at the front. So yeah, we need to sort this out, because now we are living in a cave. But a quite comfortable cave. We'll keep telling ourselves that. You know, for all this van is really small, I'm still amazed and feel glad for all the little things that are actually packed into it. Just watching you wash up with a water tap and a sink, and the fact we have a water tank where the water comes out of, you know, cannot be underestimated, even though lots of vans have it, I know, and ours isn't the best, but it's the fact it's so tiny and we've got all that. Then a cooker, and a fridge right behind where Stephen's standing, and a boiler, well, sort of a boiler. Yeah, is it a boiler? Yeah. Oh yeah, we can have hot water. It's a bit of a nightmare though. And just over there a toilet. Well, you know all this, but sometimes it just feels just like a little magic box, you know, with all these things in it that often don't work. But mostly they do.
Yeah, they all work.
Everything works.
Heating.
Yeah, the heating, we've got heating.
Hot water.
And when you finish that, if you could just start going through all of this as well, cleaning that out, that'd be really, really helpful.
Yeah, right.
And maybe over just down the side there.
Whatever you say, do.
Actually, the fridge needs doing. That's pretty awful. That's proper shocking, that is. And one other thing we bought yesterday. So there was a charity shop next to where we went into home base, and we needed some new mugs. So we've been on the lookout for a while, because our tin ones, they're not tin. What are they made of? They look like copper, but I don't think they are. But the problem with those mugs is they get really hot very, very quickly. So what we found were these little big old mugs. So not little at all. They are huge, but a decent size, so you can get a decent cup of tea or coffee in there, and they do fit in our cupboard, and they're really nice. They're £1 each. We got two, yeah, one each, matching.
You love a big mug.
They look good, don't they? They look sturdy. And honestly, there's nothing worse than just like a piddly cup of tea or coffee. Just what's the point?
No, 2 mouthfuls.
Exactly. Like the effort to make it, you want a decent size. Did you put the tea bags in first?
Yeah, with the milk.
And the milk?
Yeah.
We're going to get a lot of stick for that.
Yeah.
I never really thought about it until people started commenting.
I made it the northern way.
You mean the opposite?
Yes, I know.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Alright, what are you doing, Stevie?
Just sitting there.
You're just sitting there. Shall we just make a video of us just sitting in the van doing nothing and see if people watch it? Maybe people will.
Maybe they will.
It's a bit worrying.
No, I'm going into town. I'm just mustering up the motivation, really. I haven't got any.
So what's the plan? Just to pick up a kettle, yeah?
We need a new kettle. I've got to get a new kettle.
And don't forget the winning lottery ticket.
Yeah, I probably will forget that.
Steve's going into town. I'm going to sit here, do some video stuff. This is the fold-out solar panel. I'm sure we've shown this before,
Yeah,
but I can't remember if we actually have or not. So since we were just talking about using the laptops off-grid, I thought I'd chuck this in as well. It's a bit dusty. But the great thing is we can move it about and we can even throw it on the roof. So although we haven't got one on the roof, the benefit of this is we can actually move it to where the sun is. Unfortunately, as the sun has disappeared, it means the solar is almost non-existent, which means the power to the battery isn't going to last very long. So yeah, I'm just going to get done what I can and call it a day, I think. Right, so another thing about our van, which I think we've mentioned before, is the blinds. We've got them everywhere. So we've got one there, one down there, one at the back of the van, one at the side door there, it's open, and one at the top. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 5, right? We've got sliding blinds. And the problem, I think they're the originals. So how they've lasted this long, I don't know, but I highly suspect it's because no one's actually lived in the van until we had it, basically. Certainly the guy who had it before us, he just used it for trips away, not for actually living in. So what's happened over time, the more we've used them, the more they've got a little bit torn in places and a little bit stiffer. We found it more and more difficult to put them up. It's especially bad in winter and after it's rained, but to be fair, that was always the case from day one, because obviously you get the condensation and it makes the blinds harder to do up, basically. But they have got a lot worse. One is kind of broke completely, and I don't know how we still get it kind of covering the window. And yeah, we'd like to replace them. But what Stephen's done today, he said it a while ago and we've just tried it, was actually spray some WD-40 onto the blinds, hoping it'll get into the hinges. Maybe this is a terrible idea, who knows, but you know, we needed to do something. Stephen hates these blinds. I really like them because they're so compact, and they're obviously built to fit the actual van itself. So they don't take up much room. So I'm really reluctant to kind of change them. I'd rather get them fixed or replaced in the exact same style if possible. I don't know if that's something we can do ourselves or what, but well, we can't do anything ourselves, so we know the answer to that. And also, when you're living in a very small space, your cooker, which is in your bedroom and your lounge and everything else, gets in a right state really quickly. In a house, you could just ignore it and go to another room, and it was easier to sort out when you did sort it out. But here there's no real hiding from it, although this drop down cover does actually cover it up, so we can technically hide from it, and we sometimes do. Okay, so now it's a mad dash because we've just done our exercises. We just used the weights we bought. I'll show you them later because we've got to film it. But when I was emptying the sink earlier, we were emptying our water tank, and it started to overflow. So the waste tank, when it gets full up, the water starts coming out the bottom of your van, which is now what it's doing. It's only dripping, but we obviously don't want to be sat here, leave and look like we've left a massive puddle, you know what I mean? It's only sort of dishwater waste, but you still don't want to leave it on the ground. So we're kind of in a mad dash now to get round to the drain, and there's a good drainage point around here where you can get rid of all that and get rid of it, basically. Right then. And that's it.
Let's do that.
And then we're going mushrooming, right?
All right then.
Morning days. Just going to take you for a wee and try not to hit that massive giant dog. Yeah, so we sorted everything out. We've done what we needed to do. Actually, that's a lie. We've not done half the things we needed to do. On the agenda today is hopefully to look for some hedgehog mushrooms because they're really easy to identify, and we picked them before and cook them up, and they're really nice. So that's one mushroom you can't really go wrong with. So hopefully we can find some of them. So yeah, that's the plan. We're going to go mushrooming, hopefully find some fungus that's edible and doesn't kill us, and maybe find something for dinner even. Do you think? Might be nice. So if we can find something we can eat, as I say, we will only do it if we know 100% for sure that we can. Then we can cook it up for lunch or dinner, which would be nice. So we see you at the woods. Look at all the bloody stickers on our screen. We still haven't taken them off. So far we're not having much luck, are we, with this?
We've been out for half hour, we've not seen a single mushroom.
We haven't seen anything, not a single bit. It's not happening, is it?
It's not, it's too dry.
This is not happening.
It's too dry. It should smell damp and rank, but it doesn't.
Yeah, it should smell, it should have that mushroomy smell that you get, that forest
Mould.
leaf, yeah, mould, that kind of thing, mulchy. But it's just, there's nothing there. I mean, we're not experts, we don't know what it's meant to smell like or look like. And although we looked into this quite a lot last year and got some knowledge, it's been a while.
Boo.
Yeah, disappointing.
Boo.
But, you know, we've had a lovely walk and now we've got to head back to the van. We've got to go shopping. It's getting to that time of year again where we have to get everything done before the darkness creeps in. We started to notice that, especially the last couple of nights, didn't we? Which is probably more obvious because our electrics are out, but still, you know, it's getting to that time again. So we've got to get out of this wood, drive and do some shopping. Then we've got to find a park up, which we always prefer to do when it's light, don't we?
Yeah.
And I'm sure everybody does because it makes sense.
It's better to get off the road before it starts.
Yeah. And we don't even know where we're going.
And we've got to try and make dinner before it starts.
Yeah. So
Actually,
we're
no, we're going to buy some lights, aren't we? Some LED lights.
going to buy some fairy lights or something because you know what?
Because we're fairies.
Because we're fairies, yeah. I mean, let's face it. Right, quick update in case I can't string this video together in a way that makes sense. So for some reason I look really salmon pink on this, I don't know why. Although I'm always a bit red. So we went shopping, did all that, found a park up before it got dark, but now it's starting to get dark, and basically because we still haven't sorted our lights out, even though we've got some batteries for some other ones, I now need to cook dinner really quickly while I can actually see. This is living the life, guys. This is exactly how it is. This is the dream of being on the road. Hopefully we'll sort it out. You're right, Stevie.
Hi.
Aye. Right, where are we?
In a van.
In a van.
On a campsite.
Living in a van.
In battle. So Dan, why don't you tell us about how we said we was going to just stop filming random things?
I'm not filming a random thing, I had a point to make. You threw me off now. I just kind of wanted to say, yeah, I don't know how we're gonna, this might not even come to pass, this video. It's a load of random stuff, as Stephen is quite correct, but we had some things in mind and then it just didn't really happen. But basically, the last few days, it's been really difficult. Like I've been feeling it. I've been feeling how tough this is, like living this life. And it's really, I don't know, it's not easy. And with our lights out, other things we've had to deal with, just little things that have been bothering me, like hitting my head in the small space and trying to cook and get in the fridge, which is like a back-breaking exercise in itself, putting the bed up and down and trying to get something, losing things, all sorts of stuff, finding water. Today we had a bit of a horrible time, because in this area, we're kind of like on the Kent-Sussex border kind of area. It's so difficult to park, and there's so many height barriers. So it's really discouraging when you're doing this. And I don't know, I've just had a few things where I've kind of like missed some of the home comforts, and you know what? That's okay. We've never said this is forever, but also it's normal for those things to come, to feel those things, I think. But yeah, it's not a breeze. It is not a breeze at all. But even now, I'm still thinking, oh my God, we still haven't sorted our lights. So I'm sitting here with the laptop. I'm just trying to edit the current video we're doing. And I'm aware that I'm going to run out of light soon. So that's going to have to stop, and we'll just have to hunker down in the dark with our little lamps, with our cider. Which is fun, but you know, it's not ideal. We need to sort that out. And yeah, I've just been feeling in a bit of a flunk because of everything, because that's what happens doing this sometimes. It really does. Because sometimes you can feel a bit aimless, and you feel like you just we go to work and stuff like that, but sometimes in between, if you haven't got a set plan, you're kind of just wandering, and sometimes that can get to you. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I suppose I'm just trying to say that this comes with so many challenges, and it can play on your mind sometimes, because it's not a comfortable life. It's not comfortable at all. Every day is, you know what, you think that you've got so much free time doing this, but actually your time is taken up so much by all the things you need to do. Moving each day, water, rubbish, recycling. If you're lucky to find recycling anywhere, it's a nightmare. Washing, cleaning, etc. Yeah, so sometimes it just gets a bit much, and you miss the home comforts of an actual house. But then we remember why we did it, and what we gave up in order to do this. And would we want to go back yet? No, I don't think we would we?
I don't.
No,
yeah.
No, you don't, and I don't either. But you know,
it's not that I don't want a house. I just don't want to have to work 5 days a week to get it.
No, exactly.
Not yet. Well, once we've seen a bit more of the world and had a bit more time, then yeah, maybe. But that won't be for at least a year in my mind.
I don't know, because actually we still enjoy doing this. We still do. I'm not moaning or anything. It's just sometimes some days I'm not moaning. Some days are just really difficult. I'm sorry, but when you have to go through, like, let's just spell it out, when you have to get rid of your piss and things like that, like, it's not fun sometimes, okay? It's not fun trying to do that. You got to empty your water tank as well. You can't just do that anywhere. Some people might be irresponsible and do that, but you can't. We don't do that. We try and find a proper place to do it, but it's difficult, and it's all difficult. But the good things do outweigh the bad, or at least the good things are they're high enough.
There's enough reward.
There's enough reward. That's it, to make it still worthwhile, to make those bad things okay. But sometimes they're just a little bit difficult to deal with, and that's it. That's all I have to say. I need to stop talking.
All right, bye.
All right, bye. So we've woken up on Cobb Hill campsite, is it?
Yeah, we said all this last night.
And all right. And I was going to say, it's really lovely here, and we had a really nice sleep. There's loads of different fields with different pitches, so it's actually really, like, it's a lot bigger than it seems. It's really cute, actually. Steve's going to do his exercises. I'm going to go for a run. And today I'm going to feel a bit more positive, because I've been feeling...
God for that.
I'm feeling a bit not so positive at the moment. So I've probably got last night's dinner around my face, but anyway.
Anyway, come on then. Go running.
Alright.
Be happy.
Yeah, alright. Okay, so I've just taken myself for a run this morning. It's not that easy around this campsite, but we found a way. And mostly just to try and lift myself from this kind of downwards mood I've been in at the moment, and finding things very difficult and challenging. And it's just been getting to me the last couple of days. So going for a run, as I've always said, is always the perfect cure for up here, basically. I do it solely, almost entirely for that reason, rather than for physical health, although obviously that's a good side effect as well. And I don't know, I don't want to sound like I've been being ungrateful, you know. I'm really grateful for everything we've got in this van and what we've worked to achieve to make this happen. You know, we found our own 2 feet, we found jobs to sustain this after giving up our old jobs, and it's always been difficult. But sometimes I think the combination of the lights and us not really knowing how to fix it, the electrics, our battery pack problems which we've had, which are now resolved hopefully, and then the other things. So when you get a couple of things that start bothering you, the other things that are day-to-day challenges that might not bother you then start bothering you. So everything kind of piles on top of itself. So getting water, emptying wastewater, emptying your toilet waste, etc, etc, it all just starts playing on you. And even things like finding park ups and sleeping comfortably and like waking up in the morning without feeling like you've kind of somebody's waiting outside with a pitchfork, you know. So yeah, I'll be fine, it'll all be good. We did have some discussions, Stephen saying, look, do you want to give this up? I don't want to give it up, I really don't. We know it's not forever, but we definitely want to do this for a lot longer. But yeah, sometimes we just miss having, it's not just me, but I do miss having a base, and I miss some of those things that you took for granted before. And I've always said, doing this life will make you appreciate all those things that you did take for granted. And that's it. I'm going to get showered, we're going to pack up, leave this very lovely campsite. The sun's out, it's a Saturday. A new day always means new ideas, new possibilities, new way of thinking. That might fall apart in 30 minutes, but yeah, for now I'm going to leave it there, and we'll see you wherever we go next.